What don't you say? Hey everybody, welcome back to Artists on Lockdown. I am Ron Onesti from the Rock and Roll Heaven located in St. Charles, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, the Arcada Theater in St. Charles. And I am so excited once again to welcome back to this program, our Hangin' Bangin' program, two of rock and roll's most legendary drummers. And each week as we keep going and doing this thing, I realize even more just how legendary and iconic these two gentlemen are, from Black Sabbath, from Dio, from Last in Line. Vinny Appice is with us. Come on out. Oh, is Vinny with us yet?
There he is. Yeah, I'm here. I'm having technical difficulties today.
You know what? I did too for some reason, but it was funny. As I'm saying your name and I'm concentrating on the Appice conundrum that I have, I realized that I didn't see you prior to that we normally do. I'm like, holy cow, is he there? But you came in the last second. That's awesome. How you doing, man?
The very last second. Well, I got a new router and a new camera. Oh, now it's working, the goddamn thing.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to switch over to this one. Yes. So bring Carmine on. I'm going to switch over.
You got it. From Vanilla Fudge, from the Rod Stewart Band, from Jeff Beck, from so many other bands. You talk icons, you talk legends, you talk guys behind the drums who really made it happen in rock and roll. Please welcome the one, the only, Carmine Appice. Carm.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good to see you, buddy, man.
Yeah.
How you doing this week?
I'm good. It's a lot of good things happened today. Number one, I got the studio going that Vinny built for me, the computer, and I had two different drum sounds, one with a Slingerland kit and one with my D drum kit. I just put my D drum kit up, so you can see that.
Look at this guy.
It is, right? It's got two bass drums. It's rocking sound,
and neighbors.
They're not close.
Good.
we have 2.1 acres of land.
Oh, nice.
And my nearest neighbor is maybe 200 feet away, and you can't hear it in his house or outside in his pool. And Leslie can't hear it in our house either, the way it's situated. So I can come out here at 3 a.m. if I want and play. I never do.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You're fine, man.
Yeah.
That's because Carmine hits so light.
Oh,
okay. There's the brotherly love I look for.
There you go, right?
Hey, I am excited. Once again, each week, these guests that we're getting is just incredible. You talk again, we got to change from Hangin' and Bangin' to Legends and Icons, because that's what we have on the show every week.
That's a good idea.
But I'll tell you what, we may have to change it this week, because instead of Hangin' and Bangin', should it be like Hangin' and Snappin', since we're doing a bass player? I don't know,
but we had a bass player last week too.
I know, and we had one a couple weeks before that. So let's bring him onto our camera. This guy from Government Mule's been with him for the last 12 years, just rocking and rolling. I can't wait to talk to him. Bring him on. Now, Ben, there's Jorgen Carlsson. Look how happy he looks.
Yeah.
What's a good day today?
That's because he's in the studio.
I know.
Everybody's in the studio. Ron, what about you?
I'm in my library. So, in my part of the business, I'm in my studio.
Okay, there you go.
It's the only place where the AC works good,
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So, Jorgen, that's your home studio? You are in your home studio?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Actually, we recorded about 6 tracks from our Appice Brothers album in that studio.
Yeah, we fit your drum kit in that little small room there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Normally you walk on the side, but you had to walk in the back door through the house.
Go into the house.
And then when you move a mic, you had to go in the other side. That's crazy.
I'm almost like that here, except I left a little aisle for myself to walk out the back of the drum set. But, that was fun. Jorgen played on a few tracks on that record, too, and it was awesome.
Yeah, 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but it was. Vinny, how many?
I think 2 or 3.
I think 2 or 3. That's a safe number.
Yeah, I know. At least one. At
2 to
least
12.
Wait, what shirt are you wearing, Ron?
So here's the thing.
Oh yeah, what's that shirt?
I know. Here's the thing.
Legit.
I am actually not at my place. I know. See, Jorgen, every week I usually don a shirt that is from, the band that we're interviewing, and I've never let it down. Today I'm a letdown. I'm sorry, because I had my government shirt all ready to go, and I left it at home. I'm at the Old Neighborhood Italian American Club at South Side of Chicago right now.
I hear you. Okay.
So I owe you.
Wait, that's the second time. Last week too.
I know. Last
Hey
week.
Ron, go
Yeah,
get
man.
it. Go get it. We'll wait for you.
I'll be right back. It'll take
Okay.
about an hour. Hang on one
fantastic.
second.
Hey, you know what? Your connection's better wherever you are,
Yeah, I know.
right? He's not dropping out so much.
I know.
It's good. It's good. Hey, there's Betty Ann Travano.
Ah, there you go. Come and mule.
Oh, there it is.
I got my shirt on now.
You need a marker.
Hi, Betty.
Yeah, I need a marker. I need a Sharpie, darn it.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get right to it, because again, I was talking to Jorgen a little bit before we got on the air here. I asked him how old he was. He's in his 40s.
He's a baby.
I know, because it blows me away. You've got a band. Obviously, everyone knows the history of Mule with the Allman Brothers, the side project, all that stuff, and the people that you've been around and the music. What are you doing with these guys, for being such a young guy here?
I know it was very. I never thought that would happen. I actually never heard of Government Mule when it first came up. It was a mutual friend that brought it up, Jeff Young. You played with him, Carmine. He's been sitting in with Mule.
Right.
Yeah, so he brought it up. We were working on a record, me and Jeff together, and Andy Hess, the old bass player, had just left the band, and they were looking for somebody. And Jeff didn't really think about me as a bass player, because we were working on engineering and producing and arranging and stuff. And then it just hit him. Like, he called Warren and said, "I got this crazy Swede. It might just be the perfect guy for you," because I was into Purple and Sabbath and Rainbow, Uriah Heep, whatever, stuff like that. So.
Just like Warren.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you got into, obviously, you're from Sweden, we all know that. And I understand out there the radio isn't exactly like how we have it. We have classic rock stations. We have, how did you get to be so into Sabbath and all these things, being in Sweden? Because the radio situation is a little different.
Well, yeah, radio is non-existing. At that time, there was like 3 channels and only one played music.
Mm-hmm.
P3 it was called. And same with television. Basically, there was 2 channels, TV1, TV2, when I grew up in the 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
But they did show Kiss one time in 1976, 77, and it changed my life, and that sent me on the trajectory that I'm still on today, basically. But I started to work at a record store, and the girl that worked there, she was like, "You got to get out of Kiss," and she started to play some Sabbath and Pink Floyd, and so it broadened my sight a lot of it.
Did Gene Simmons take you down the bass road, or were you kind of doing that before?
Drums, first instrument, got a snare drum in 1977.
That's why we like this guy so much.
Yeah.
Got drums as the roots.
Well, it's only a snare drum.
Exactly.
You're lacking some.
So you play drum, not drums.
Yeah.
Drum.
I had a drum and a drum
I play
stand.
drum.
I see.
And a
So
drum
you
and a
were-
drum stand. Right, nice.
So you were playing. You played the drum. You got there. Look at
Oh, yeah.
Carmine.
I remember. Where was that at?
I think it was in New Jersey, but some.
Oh, yeah. It's
Remember?
Tom's place.
It's like the first time we hung out. You
Yeah,
took
right.
me.
I took you to that studio, right. Oh, wow.
So once again, you're about 36, 37 years old when you get invited to join this band. Obviously you're trying to, you're not filling shoes, but obviously after Andy left, but was it more, were you feeling more pressure, if pressure at all, about Andy or more about Alan filling shoes like?
Well, I didn't really look at it that way. I was more blown away by the whole concept of.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to check out some YouTube clips, when my friend Jeff said, "You're going to get a phone call from Warren, and they're looking into new bass players," and I started to look all this shit up online, and I got a little nervous, to be honest. But at the same time, it was so exciting because, wow, how I never heard of this band. How come I missed them? You know, how this is my shit. Although I'm equally as much into pop music and stuff like that, the rock music is my foundation, you know, since I was a kid.
Well, I mean, you being from Sweden, I gotta think that. Am I wrong in saying that a big deal to you, probably in all your cousins, was ABBA? I mean, you know.
I knew you were gonna say it. Yeah, of course.
No, it's an obvious question, but my question is, you know, we have bands here, and Carmine and even you could attest this. We've had bands here that did okay in America, but overseas just went crazy. And my question is, you know, obviously ABBA, one of the biggest bands internationally, you know, in the world, but was it as big in Sweden as it was all over the world?
It was bigger.
Really?
Right?
For my Swedish Carmine.
Well, they were huge in Sweden, but it was sort of illegal to admit that you like them for people in my age group.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom bought a bunch of. She listened to Elvis and ABBA. And my dad listened to big band music and country and western stuff. So, but the ABBA thing, the melodies and the arrangements, and also the production value of their music is incredible. If you listen closely, the engineering and the arrangements is superb. I mean, it stands up to this day on par with the Bee Gees or Elton John or whatever you want to go like in that genre.
So again, it's amazing that, you know, with the ABBA influence, Elvis influence, but this heavy metal thing, you know, how did that get to you, really?
Well, it never got to the heavy metal thing. Like, I never listened to Metallica and stuff like that, but it went up as far as, I think, Dio, Ozzy.
That's better.
And yeah, some of my first shows that I saw was Dio in 1984.
Wow.
With that gentleman right there.
Yeah, man.
That's some good band right there. They had a good drummer, too.
They had a good drummer. And
Yeah.
it stood out even back then when I was 13, 14. I was like,
That was
man.
even better when the drummer's brother jammed with them on an encore.
Yeah.
But he sped it out. He sped the song up too much, though. Whatever.
Well, you know, and the funny thing is, you'd never know it by Jorgen's playing that he was a metalhead kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Because-
that much in the
Because
rock.
you know, he plays like anything. He plays jazz, rock, country, whatever it takes, reggae, you name it, he can play it. And
I don't know about reggae. Kidding.
I heard you doing reggae with Mule, dude.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah,
Or
Don't tell me
blues.
that.
I've
And,
been force trained.
yeah, I guess we're not playing that gig this week, this New Year's Eve, huh?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I played with Mule, how many times? 5 years in a row? 6 years maybe?
You know, I was looking for photos last night, and it seemed like the first time you joined was 2013, so 7 years ago.
7
yeah.
years ago. We would go on and just play, you know, whatever song. 'Cause first it was You Keep Hanging On, there was Cactus Evil, then it was, I don't even remember, Superstition. You know, then a couple of times it was 2 songs. And
You split up
It was
the drum
great.
solo with Matt. Remember that
Yeah,
first time?
yeah,
Matt started the drum solo, and then you picked
oh, yeah,
up.
that's right. Then I picked up with it. That's right.
And then it was another time when it was you, Matt, and Simon Kirk on the same night, too.
Right,
Remember that?
right.
That must be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
playing with Mule was great because it's basically a freaking jam band, you know, stuff I'm used to, like BBA and Cactus and all that, like jam band. Every night is different, you know, with these guys.
Yeah, it's rock and roll with a jazz formula to it,
Yeah,
Right.
basically.
It's also a little bluesy, of course, right?
Sure.
yeah, at times, yeah. Warren's got a great blues voice. He's got a great voice, period.
Oh, yeah.
He's,
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
then,
you know, Jorgen is being part of this band. I mean, again, legendary guys in and out of, you know, jamming with you in the audience. I mean, just constantly surrounded by legends. You know, 37, 38, 39 years old. This band is giving you great access to these legends. I mean, has it been something that you think you really learned to appreciate, that just blow your mind? And who are some of the bigger people that you've come across by being part of this band?
Well, some of them, I think maybe 2-3 weeks in, we did a show, and John Paul Jones was playing basically half the set. So I had to sit out for the
Wow.
the first half when he played bass, but then on No Quarter and Since I've Been Loving You and all that stuff, he played keyboard. And I was like, is it going to be like this all the time?
You're always going to be the sub, no matter what.
And I was panicking. I was like, Since I've Been Loving You, there's, I think there's organ bass on the recording, basically whole notes that are sustained, like long notes.
Yeah.
And I asked him on stage, should I hold the notes like long? And he looked at me. He's like, hey, Jorgen, it's a blues, really, isn't it? So basically, he told me to play whatever the fuck I wanted. And then,
Nice.
How did that freedom? Did you really utilize that freedom, push yourself at certain licks?
gradually, more and more, and then, but you still have to, keep the respect for everybody else in the room. And so it's all about listening more so than playing.
Yeah, Jorgen has the feel to listen to the other guys, play the groove, and then at the right spot, he goes out with something you don't expect, and you go, "What was that?"
Right. Sometimes you have to take chances, and then maybe it'll go
Always
well.
come back and come back.
Yeah.
Because it's like I used to tell Tim Bogert this. Tim Bogert was always like out there playing crazy. I said, Tim, why don't you lay back a little bit? Then when you go out there and you come back, then people realize how far out you really went. But if you're out there all the time, you don't know because you're out there all the time. So he said that's a good idea. So he started doing that, and it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
But when we played with Jorgen on the album, and he played some great stuff on our album. He played on the song "Sinister."
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good track, and the fast one, Drum Wars. Yeah, the Drum Wars track. Yeah, and unfortunately we couldn't play together, me and Vinny, because we only had that one drum set in your studio.
Right, so
I had to do my part.
He tuned out the kick drum when he went to do his thing, and then changed the snare, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And then we would do the different parts that we worked out for the two drum sets, and we do them separately in your studio because, like you said, the drums just barely fit in the room. No way you're going to get another one unless you put it outside.
Yeah. But Vinny, you've been recording there quite a few times on Matt's kit, the Sling.
Yeah, I like that kit. It's the old, what is it, Ludwig, right?
It's a Slingland reissue.
Slingland, yeah.
Radio King or whatever they call it.
Yeah, it sounds great, that kit. Big bass drum and shit. And,
I just did,
yeah.
When Vinny set up my recording computer here, the first kit I put in here, I recorded, was my 2004 Slingland Pink Leopard kit. And that kit sounds great. It had no front hole on the bass drum.
Right.
And it sounded great. And then a couple of days ago, we put the D drum kit, double bass drum kit in here because we're going to do some stuff in here. And, I think I should play the endorsement kit like Vinny does all the time.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. So now I got my D drum kit here. It's custom painted, but it sounds good. It's a little different. It's had holes in it. And I've been working with the sound today. I moved the microphones. I got Audix mics. I moved the mic out of the hole and onto the side of the hole. It sounds so much better.
Yeah, I was just going to say you don't have to mic the hole just because there's a hole there.
That's what we do live, but now you don't have to do that in the studio.
Well, that's basically just so you don't get snare bleed and cymbal bleed because you want to stick it inside. But if you can put it outside, you can have one outside the hole and the second one right next just to get the flap from the skin.
Yeah, well, fortunately, the skin is getting a lot of attack. And like if the hole's here, I'm a little low right there,
Yeah, okay.
And when I moved them there, the bass drum sounded so much better.
When I do the live stream for Facebook, I wound up with the mic right there to the side of the hole.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, and sometimes if it's too much leak from the snare that phases out the snare, then you can put build a little tunnel and cover up the flat from the snare.
I'm still using the if you can see it, you can see that it's the Pink Leopard. Can you see that? I can't see what I'm looking at. There's the Pink Leopard snare drum, Slingland. But that drum sounds great. What a great sounding drum that is. It's
6.5?
No, 5 inch. 5 inch.
Looks bigger in the picture.
Yeah, awesome sound. But yeah, I'm having fun.
Shop talk, real shop talk here.
See, my drum is 6.5, and me and Carmine always go by penis size.
Yeah. But we all know that.
5 inch.
Talking about millimeters here, so
6.5.
You guys are killing me.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron.
you got it, Bill. Hey, Jorgen, have you? I mean, we mentioned ABBA, we mentioned Kiss. Some of your influences here. Have you ever met any of those people?
No, guys. Well, actually, the guitar player from ABBA, I was on tour in Sweden, and I had a day off, and I called some of my friends, and we hooked up, did a gig, and he invited the guitar player that did all the studio recordings with ABBA, and we did a show, and it was actually kind of cool. But other than that, no. I've been out of the loop since '91. I moved to LA, so it's. I was too young to be involved back then. It's just.
Do you know that you can't spell Black Sabbath without ABBA? You can't spell Sabbath
right
without ABBA.
So if you just cover up the letters,
and it's ABBA.
Yeah.
Weird.
So
it's funny. T-Bone, the guitar player, his favorite bands are ABBA and Black Sabbath.
It's easy to spell.
Tour together. We should.
T-Bone's the guitar player that played on some of the tracks on our album as well. He's a great player.
Yeah,
he's a great player. Yeah. Well, we played a couple of shows with him too, didn't we, Vin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I think the Sabbath should go on tour with ABBA. I think that would be amazing. Would that be incredible?
It'll be a huge stadium show, probably.
Hell yeah. But two different stadiums. Like one would play half this half, one the other half.
Yeah.
Hey, Jorgen, have you? I know that you have a little inside of you that wants to produce and write. And have you had a chance to do very much producing?
I mostly produce for myself and my wife. We have a pop project, which is very much like
ABBA.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Little Days. Let's talk about Little Days.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that started in the 90s when I started to write in 97. Mini wrote since I first met her, and that's how we hooked up, actually. And then we started to do like indie records in the late 90s, but that dripped out. But the whole thing about producing and arranging and later on engineering became so apparent that it's so much fun to create in the studio. And the sounds, I'm obsessed with old sounds from the 60s, 70s, and parts of the 80s too.
Yeah.
And later on as well, but it's not as much.
Carmine's been missing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you just got the studio.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had this for 10 years, and it's so much fun to create.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a ball here.
Yeah, and drum sound is so key, because all the overdubs you put on top is because of how the drums sound and how they're played, obviously. But the sound is very
right. I'm actually getting a better sound in here than I am in some studios I go to.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Well, because you have time and there's no pressure in the same way.
Yeah, and Vinny was giving me lessons online. He would chime into my computer and call me on the phone, and then he said, "Well, yeah." I said, "How do you do this or that?" He said, "Well, you push this button, that one." I got my notebook here. I've been taking notes, And the room itself is set up pretty good. It's got wood floor. This room here I'm in now. Then there's another room which is the kitchen, where I got the room mics. They're a good, maybe 8 feet away.
The kitchen mics.
Yeah, the kitchen mics.
Yeah.
I got a bathroom mic.
Yeah, he's got a bathroom. Seriously, he does have a bathroom.
It gets a lot of crack.
A lot of crap.
And crack.
I want to go to commercial. We don't even go to commercials, but I want to go to commercial.
That's some funny shit, literally.
Yeah. Hey, Jorgen, I do want to talk a little bit about the Little Days project. I listened to a few tracks. Love this stuff. You can obviously hear or feel the 60s, 70s influence, and you obviously have a passion for the music of 60s, 70s. And I think that's one of the things that really got you the Government Mule gig, probably because of your awareness and appreciation for that kind of feel, don't you think?
Yeah, most likely. Well, back to Mule, as far as the audition with Mule, they I learned, I think, 7 songs, and we played it through in maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. And then the remaining 2 hours was just, they were throwing shit at me and checked if I could hear the chord changes, how good my intonation was. And they played all styles, like freeform jazz to reggae. I think I failed the reggae. But
Man, that's a huge gig to get, obviously. But I mean, in the sense that, you know, it's not, okay, it's like if you're Kansas or Boston or whatever, you know, these are the songs, this is how it goes, here's the intonation. I mean, this is it. Learn this and come back to us. With a jam band concept, you know, you never know what you're getting thrown at you live.
Yeah, and that was the whole point with that. Yeah.
Pardon me?
That was the whole point with that. And then I think we rehearsed about 70 or 100 songs in 10 days. We played them through one time. And I told Warren, so when are we going to do it again? Well, if you play them once, you can play them again. I was like, okay. And then the tour started. And the first week we didn't repeat one song for the first week. We just everything 2 sets every night were consecutive new songs. Plus I had to learn like 2 or 3 covers every day for guests sitting in. And that's when my hair turned gray at the end of that tour.
How long was the set when you played live with you guys?
Well, first set is about an hour 10, an hour 20, and then the second set is about the same. So it's 3 hours in total, basically.
3 hours, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, those jam shows, man, 3 hours plus, a lot of them. I mean, that dead concept, you know, it's really, really something. Have you had a chance to talk to any of the, like Dickie? I mean, I know he's been in and out health wise. How's he doing? Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't really met any of those guys.
You haven't met him, really?
Well, I've met them, but I was never into the Allman Brothers, and I never heard. I've heard of the Allman Brothers, but I mean, I played one song, One Way Out, in a cover band here in LA prior to that. And I remember when Greg Allman used to come in and hang backstage, everybody was like, oh, on edge, and I didn't even know who he was. So it was a different atmosphere for me with the Allman Brothers.
So going back to the question I asked a little bit earlier about you having access to these legends, I noticed obviously the Mule has played with so many bands, played with on so many charitable situations. You know, what were some of the bigger bands that you played with actually?
I think comes to mind first. John Scofield did a whole tour with us, about 3.5 weeks. And when you have John Scofield on stage, it's apparent that you're standing there with a master, and it's just crazy. He's so good, you know. His improv skills are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So, but he doesn't make you feel uncomfortable or anything. It's like you accept to be the student, and that's fine. It's okay. Mm-hmm. He's a badass motherfucker. That's the same.
Hey, Jorgen, tell him about that album you did with Matt. It's one of my favorite albums.
Oh, the POA, Planet of the Apps?
Yeah.
Well, that started as a recording project here. I wanted to invite some friends, a drummer and a guitar player, or a drummer and a keyboard player, and just record a couple of songs, write them together, and then see what happened. And this was the first lineup, and we ended up doing 2 records, and that was T-Von Anderson on guitar and keyboards and lead vocal, and then Matt was playing drums and doing some lead vocal. So
that's one of my favorite songs that's on there.
Off the Hook. That was the Stones cover that we reworked completely, and he created a completely new beat to that. And
I stole that beat for the new Cactus record, actually.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Nobody has it all. We all steal from each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Give the guy credit on it at least.
Yeah, I did. You know what? We're writing the credits now. I think I'm going to do that.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a stand-up dude, brother.
I'm going to do that when we hang up this show. I'm going to email the manager and tell him, thank you, Matt Appice, for the inspiration groove.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Hey, can I just...
It's more than Vinny ever did for me.
See that?
I gave you credit. I want credit on all the next recordings.
Right.
You're getting them. You're already getting them.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to record without Little Brother.
That's right.
Right.
So Vinny actually recorded a song for Little Days It was supposed to be on the last record, but we never got the lyrics together. And it's a really cool song, progressive.
What record?
The Little Days record with me and Meanie.
Oh, you and your wife. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did I play on it?
Yeah, you played.
Oh, yeah, Vinny said it. You told me you played on it.
Yep. And I actually played it for you in the car, a rough version. We never got the lyrics together, so I never made it, but I'm still going to finish that song. It's really, really good drums.
And we played on something with the guitar player from the TV show.
Toshi from the Jimmy Kimmel show. Wow. Well, that was another project that I had with another drummer and a guitar player, and then Toshi was like, yeah, so we did, 2 songs, and one made it to the record.
Yeah. And then we did all the stuff with Greg Hampton, me and you.
That's how we met. Remember
Greg's
that?
house.
Yeah, we won't talk about that stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, right.
All right, then let me steer it just one more time back to, because I just love Little Days now. I really am a fan. The last year's record, Pop and Taco. Where did that name come from? How did it come to that?
I don't remember if it was I think there's a skit in Fletch, when he walks in and he sees this maid and he says "Pop and Tacos," and when I was in Sweden, it always sounded like he said "Pop and Tacos," and then Meanie had some concept with "Pop and Tacos," and that's I can't remember why and who instigated the actual thing, but things just flowed for a while, and then you go, okay, there it is. What are you going to call a record? What do you call a band? It's so hard.
Yeah, right.
Everything's taken already anyway.
Exactly.
You think of a name, you go, let's see, oh, there's a band,
Well, I got a band coming out called Black Alba coming out, and I'm very excited about it. I saved on letters. So, hey.
Yeah, I mean, that record, the Pop and Taco record, is very inspired by the 70s, and a lot of it has to do with the way you record. We record to the 2-inch studio machine, and then we mix it to an MCI machine, which is the same machine the Bee Gees and ABBA had next to it. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't recommend this for anybody, but it's it's fun.
Yeah, we just did that with Cactus. We recorded it, then we mixed it, then we dumped it all to the analog machine.
Yeah.
And then back, and then we mastered it, and it came out really great. Especially that track I stole from Matt.
Right. Well, even the Sinister record, I took all the drums and dumped it to tape.
Yeah, we did.
Except for
not mine.
Right, except for some of yours. But the ones you recorded here were dumped to tape.
Well,
you had no
didn't
choice.
tell me. Yeah, I don't like the dumping.
You don't like the tape. I love it. So
I like digital.
I like the digital for what you can do with it, but
yeah,
the tape is just so much more warmer. That's why on the album, my drums sound better.
Right.
I dump it too.
Hold on. Let me say that again. My drums sound better.
I dump it to tape, right to the cassette.
Thought had occurred to me.
This cassette tape is from 1975, and it's when I played with John Lennon. He's talking to us in the studio about the song "Whatever Gets You Through the Night."
Oh, great!
And there's we did the hand claps on it. So This is the hand clap. Then it stops. You can hear him talk to us. This is unbelievable.
Did you make a digital version of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, send me one.
It still works. It's unbelievable.
Wow. You said
I'm dumping it over.
What did he say, Vin? Did he say he was talking to us about the song itself, or just a little pick me up, what did he say to you?
Well, the first part was just like quarter notes, and then the chorus was. So you go, well, let's double up on the chorus, and here comes the chorus for whatever. And then
double up on the chorus, Vinny. Double up on the chorus.
And then at the end, is anybody got any coke?
No,
I didn't really do. I had great pot, and I smoked joints with him too. I smoked a couple of joints with him.
And put one of those on eBay now, right? Darn it.
Yeah. I wish I would have got his autograph. I never got his autograph.
Ben, I saw an interview. I think yesterday. Jenny McCarthy, right?
Yeah.
She did an interview with Sharon and Ozzy, and he was looking okay. You know, are you in touch with those guys at all?
Nah.
No, Tony, I am. Tony and Geezer. Tony, we email each other here and there, and then Geezer here and there, but not quite as much. It was his birthday, so I wish him happy birthday.
And Geezer's the best.
Geezer said he's so bored with this lockdown shit that he goes for a walk with the dog, and even the dog's getting bored. They walk every day.
Yeah, today's Tim Bogart's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
76 today.
Send him something.
Man.
Oh, you know what? Let's also remember Frankie Benelli. I meant to say that.
Oh, yeah.
He was good friends with all of us, and
there's Tim. There's Tim with us in January.
Yep.
We tried to record Tim. He's very ill right now. We tried to record him on a Vanilla Fudge record that Jorgen said, "Who recorded these drums? Man, this is the worst sound. It's got so much goddamn leakage on it." Remember that, Jorgen?
Yeah.
Hey,
so we didn't use the track.
Timmy always put his pants all the way up.
Oh no, that's when Tim did the vocals for this Beck-Bogan Appice live album that's coming out eventually, and he did it at Jorgen's studio. So Jorgen. That was the last time I saw Tim. Also, so far in January.
Yeah. Tim was here twice. No, 3 times actually. He did the vocal overdubs for the live thing, the fixes.
Hey, Jorgen, did you know Frankie Benelli at all? Did you run into him, play with him?
Never did. I knew of him from Quite Right?
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to him that much. But I saw that he passed.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. I mean, I was real close with him because when my solo album came out in '82, it was Pasha Records put it out, and I became attached to Pasha Records. So when I did the Nugent album, we did it at Pasha Records, except the drum sound was awful there. I mean, we were on tape then, but they had those drum boots, all padded up drum boots. So afterwards, I said to Spencer Prophet, the owner, I said, dude, you got a good room here. You got a great board. You got good tape, all that. Why don't you get the drum sound together in here? I said, you can get good sounds in here instead of that crappy LA kind of drum sound.
Yeah.
Said, you know how to do it? I said, yeah, I know how to do it. So I learned from Andy Johns,
Yeah.
So I went in there and I put, they had a rug on all the walls had rugs on it. They had a wood floor. So we put plastic, 8x4, 4x8 plywood all around the room, right? And then we put the drums in front of the glass housing, right, with the back towards the housing. And then we put the room mics up like Andy Johns, and there's me and Dwayne Barron that ended up producing the Ozzy No More Tears album. And we came up with this killer drum sound that I used on the Derringer and Appice record that we did. But Spencer used it on the Quiet Riot record. And that was the first time he used it, right?
That's cool.
And it became 5 million selling. So when Frankie did it, he said, "Hey man, thanks for the drum sound." I said, "You're welcome." I said, "You're the first one to do it." This is before the album came out, And then the album came out and went through the roof, and I said, "Wow, that's great," And we became good friends from then on. Every time I'd see him, he'd give me a kiss on the cheek and a hug.
Me too.
Italian way. You too, right?
Yeah.
And he was such a nice guy. And sometimes when we would do things together, like we did some of those jams at NAMM and stuff, like the Bonzo Bass, he'd come to the rehearsal with a big thing of spaghetti and meatballs, and such a good guy, really a good guy. So rest in peace, Frankie. Man, that was sad.
Fire was the first metal band I ever booked, and I probably did 25, 30 shows with him subsequently. And he was actually booked at our place in April. Fire Rat, we're doing a big thing. We heard, I heard that he wasn't feeling well. About it. So actually, if you look at on my schedule, it's a special salute to Frankie Benelli and Quiet Riot, starring Frankie Benelli. We did that. Then it moved, and then I thought I was trying to get him to do like some kind of interview. I tried to do our show. It got weaker and weaker, and we're just until about
We should, when it comes back, we should do a show for Frank at your place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd
Absolutely.
be cool.
That'd be really cool.
But you got to have lots of meatballs. And
Yeah, well, we know Ron. Hey,
Ron's got the
Jorgen,
meatballs.
Jorgen, if you play Ron's place, he makes the best meatballs.
Okay.
I cook for him.
Aren't you vegetarian, Jorgen?
Yeah, since
Oh, okay. You ain't gonna have the meatballs.
I've got great vegetarian meatballs I'll make for you, Jorgen.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. How's that?
Absolutely.
I'm into
So what have you
that.
been doing, Jorgen, since with all this
Veggie balls.
stuff? How you been keeping yourself busy?
I started to work on a record. I was just going to do a couple of songs, but then this stuff happened, and it's been going in the background and keeping me afloat. So I've been tracking and mixing now. And right before the COVID thing hit, I recorded Steve Lukather's new record, and it was all live in the studio with great people. Greg Bissonette played drums.
What, in that little room?
Steve for a long time.
No, it was at the Steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
In North Hollywood.
That's where we
Oh, it was
recorded.
live. It was
Yeah.
live. Okay.
Yeah, and David Page from Toto and
Right. Nice.
Jeff Babco on keyboards.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. It was. I was so into Jeff Porcaro before I moved to the States, and I still am. But he passed away like a year after I came here, and it was sort of a pipe dream to play with him one day. And this was about as close as you would get to sit with Luke and Page. and
How
sing.
did? Oh, so that was. How did you do that? Did you bring a? How did you record them?
What do you mean?
Did you record them live at the steak? What's the steakhouse? Is that a venue?
Steakhouse is a studio in LA.
Oh,
It's
the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
So
know
this
that.
was in February, right before all this shit happened, and we ended like March 3rd or 4th, and a week later was the lockdown.
Yeah,
So,
right. I know.
Actually, we recorded there in January with Last in Line. We did 6 tracks.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's a
Oh,
good place.
you didn't record at Jeff's house?
Nah,
Oh, okay.
no.
You did the first one there, though, right?
Yep. First 2 there. And then this one was Steakhouse with us and Chris, who mixes it, producing it,
Right.
So it came out great.
Yeah, they got a nice Neve console there.
Yeah.
So Jorgen,
Did you see the video of Steve Luthica? It's on YouTube. The gardeners, his neighbors' gardeners, came at 6:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and they're mowing. And he got all pissed off, so he went outside with his robe on and an amplifier, and his hair sticking up, and he's playing as loud as he could. It's so funny, screaming, "Ah!" hitting the chords, because they wake him up all the time.
Yeah. I
on
actually I saw that. I don't have Facebook, but some people sent it to me. It's like, this guy, right? And I was like laughing my ass off. It's hysterical.
He's got a robe on, his hair's up like this, and he looks like a crazy person.
What's it on his Facebook?
Well, it came on mine somehow. Yeah, look at his.
I gotta find
Hilarious.
that. Hilarious.
you've been friends with Steve Lukather for a long time, Jorgen, haven't you?
Not that long. It's maybe 8 years.
Ah, okay.
Not a little bit longer. I was still boozing when I met him, and that was.
Gotcha.
And then he had just stopped drinking right before that, so it was kind of a little weird because I was hitting it pretty hard back then.
I knew him when he was boozing it good back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
With Jeff, and you want to play with Jeff. Jeff was a wonderful guy too.
Porcaro,
Yeah, he was awesome.
man,
Nice
pocket
guy.
orchestration, crazy.
That's
Yeah.
one of your idols, Abacaro?
Jeffrey, yeah. I bought the David Gilmour record that Bob Ezrin produced in 1984 about Face, and I got stuck on the drums there, and it was Jeff Porcaro, and then that morphed me into Toto or that whole route and all his other stuff that he's been
So Ezrin did that because Ezrin did the Pink Floyd record I played on, the Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Yep.
And it was Bob that called me. And, in those days you had the cassette players with the cell phone,
Right.
message machines. I said, hey, Carmine, it's Bob Ezrin here. I said, I got a band that's just screaming for Carmine drum fills. I said, okay. I call him up. I said, hey, Bob, Carmine, what's up? He goes, look, I'm producing a band that's screaming for Carmine drum fills. I said, who's the band? He said, Pink Floyd. I said, Pink Floyd?
Wow.
My drum fills with Pink Floyd. I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me. And he said, no, it is. I said, where's Nick? he said, "Oh, Nick will be there, but his calluses are soft, and he, he doesn't really, they want some new blood to get some new things." So it ended up me and Jim Keltner played on the record. I don't think Nick played on any of it.
Wow.
And then when they went on tour, I played on this song called "Dogs of War," which is like a 6/8 thing, and
I remember that.
half the song is without the drum. Then when the drums come in, they come in like King Kong, a lot of fills, big double bass drum fills, everything. And I remember seeing Pink Floyd on TV. They played Anaheim Stadium live, or it was filmed live. And I said, I got to watch this just so I can see Nick play my fills.
Did he play them?
Well, his version of it.
Well,
it was good. It worked. It worked for the track, but it wasn't what I played. But
they had a percussion player too that were doubling up the fills.
Yeah, what Bob told me was that they wanted us new drummers to go in for new energy, new ideas, because I guess maybe maybe Nick wasn't coming up with anything they wanted, on something new. I don't know, but they wanted new ideas and new energy, is what he said.
But hey, speaking of about people that passed away, Martin Birch.
Oh yeah.
One of my all-time favorite rock records, sonically and musically, is Mob Rules.
Yeah. He was awesome.
I mean, that's just insanity. Martin Birch was so good, all areas.
He was good,
actually.
Yeah. Well, this is a very interesting. There it is.
Did Vinny
Vinny went away. You drove Vinny away. What'd you do?
He knew it.
He's going to get it too. It'd be fun if he's going to get it too.
I think he is. I
think he is. All I have is my drumsticks here. I can.
Well, since the pandemic started, I've been listening to a lot of.
Hey.
Yes.
Here's the bass drum from Mob Rules.
Oh my God, Ludwig, baby.
That's
Let me put the fucking headphones.
Sign of the Southern Cross.
Wait, this was the bass drum from Mob Rules, but
yeah, man,
didn't have this rim on it, but it's the old Ludwig.
Yeah.
All maple, yeah, and this is the one Martin recorded.
Yeah.
Huh?
Awesome.
I don't know where the rest of the kit is, but I have the bass drum.
I'm saying.
Fucked up, right?
But so, I mean, that's the kick on.
I think Vinny borrowed that from me. I think that's my kit. That's why I don't have the rest of the kit.
This is from Bill 3 exclusively, but I never used any front stuff on it. It was just the shell.
Yeah.
And then they got the old legs. Remember these legs?
Those are great legs. I love those legs. It was so simple, and they really held the drum.
Yeah.
Did you record it with a front head, or was it just open?
No. Open head completely.
Wow.
Because I mean, the kick sound on "Sign of the Southern Cross" is just ridiculous, right?
Yeah, this is the drum right here. I saved this. I record in here with it sometimes. I'll put it up. Sounds great.
Yeah. We were wondering where Vinny went.
Yeah.
I could take the camera in there, but what the hell?
Well, that's why I asked Jorgen, what you've been doing. I thought, besides producing and working on some of your own material, I thought you might be, building some custom furniture or something.
Who, me?
Jorgen.
Oh, Jorgen.
It's funny because at one point I was so tired of music when I was doing tours for like boy bands on Sony Records and shit. I was like, if this is it, I'm out. I don't want to do music anymore. And I was thinking about becoming a carpenter. It's funny you say that.
What do you mean, with Karen and Richard?
Nah, Now that's great shit, man.
I know, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
She was actually pretty good drummer. Not bad.
Who was it that played? Liberty DeVito was talking about playing with Karen Carpenter on a solo album, right?
Yeah.
That was him, yeah.
She did a TV show. It was some old 60s show where they recorded the drums answering her. So she did a 4-bar.
Yeah.
Then the 4-bar went. I did that the other night on my live thing I do. But she was good. She was smiling and shit. Playing, and there was a recorded thing.
She could play big band shit. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
One day we're going to mic up the drums on this show and come, and so me and Vinny can actually play.
We're begging you, please.
And then we'll get Jorgen on, and then we'll get a guitar player, Sorry, Ron, you're gonna have to be out.
Nope. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll be happy to watch that. I'll be happy to watch that.
You know, I tried to hook. I went from the mixer right into the computer, the normal audio.
Hey, Vinny,
That's in the computer.
check this out.
And it blew up. Oh yeah, what's that? Which one's that?
Dio.
Yeah.
Hungry for Heaven.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a dragon-shaped single.
Right.
Oh,
Everybody should have one.
Look at that.
It sounds way better if you take that plastic cover off.
You know,
Yeah,
Jorgen,
Yeah.
it looks like you've got all this great stuff, and the guys know I ask everybody this question every week, but look at that.
Hey, I'm on that one.
Yep. I've been listening to so much vinyl since this COVID shit started, you know, going through my collection from the 80s, and I have a bunch of stuff.
I bought a little turntable too, and playing old stuff. It's great.
This one's pretty crazy.
Wow,
It's got a message, like an interview from Ronnie Dio, and he's
really?
talking about the tour. I think it must have been the third tour, the third record. And he's talking about the laser shows and the dragon and shit. So it's a good promo thing. I don't think anybody did that. Released a record with a promo.
Yeah, I did that with my solo album on Pasha, actually. I had Ray Manzarek interviewed me, and we put it on a promo thing, and it's I've seen it on like eBay and stuff like that. You know, they send it out to radio. I said use that for. But you know, I got Cleopatra's just now releasing a King Cobra record too on vinyl now with 2 different colors. What's that?
It's actually Bill's drum kit, but Vinny's playing on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Triple record.
I don't even have one of those.
Is that a bootleg?
No.
Wow.
Well, half semi.
All right, hold on, everybody, hold on. Ron's got something he wants to ask.
No, I just.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to answer the question. Jorgen, I ask the guys every week, you know, you've been doing this for so long. You've been in the presence of presidents and kings and all these great players. Is there one or two items that are really, really something special, a gift or some piece of memorabilia that is really something special, something you would grab on the way out of the house if it was on fire?
Oh.
You seem like a collector extraordinaire.
I was, you know, when I was 13, 14, I collected some Kiss records and some Sabbath and Rainbow and some Gary Moore records, but that's about it. I don't really have anything. Maybe I'll grab what I have here. You know, Mob Rules is a favorite.
There we go.
Yeah, Martin Birch was a favorite too. I think Machine Head, come on. All the first 3 Rainbow records with Ronnie.
Yeah, Martin was such a nice guy too, easy to work with. And,
right.
Yeah.
He's
Some great stories about that guy.
Yeah.
What's Mule? I know the obvious, you know what's going on, but I mean, what was Mule and what's doing and what they got coming up? They got some new recordings. They've been talking about this stuff.
Well, right before the COVID hit, we had a live record, which I thought maybe was the best record we've done with me in the band. Prior to that, it's up for grabs. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the live thing captured the band as it's supposed to sound.
Is that the Capitol Theater album?
Yeah. Yeah. Turned out good.
Really good. Is it really?
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Maybe marketing pulled back a minute on it just because of all this COVID.
Sure.
Of
course. Yeah.
Everything.
So we're planning a tour to support it.
We started, and we had this whole year booked up like everybody else. You know, it is what it is. And it's, you know, we got 2 guys on the East Coast and 2 guys here on the West Coast. It's a little hard. We would have to drive or fly and meet in the middle and to do some recording.
Yeah.
So it's something we're talking about, maybe mixing some live shows and release that for the time being. Not sure what's going to happen.
Were you part of that Love Rocks New York City thing in March?
No, but that's Willie holding that.
Yeah. It was incredible, and it turned into a live stream, unfortunately, right?
Yeah. Will is such a great guy too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is there somebody? Who would you like to play with if somebody gave you that opportunity that's alive right now, that's still out there? Who would you like to sit in with besides Black Sabbath, besides Last in Line, besides Vanilla Fudge. We know that.
Yeah, well, I never have played live with Vinny there. So
See?
we've
So we
only
should
done
do that.
well. It's been live in the studio, so we
Just
have
in the studio, yeah.
yeah.
So
So we
maybe
gotta-
for one of the Last in Line shows, you can come by, man. What do you think?
Yeah,
Who's,
maybe that.
who's the other guy there?
What was his name? Ed.
Oh, yeah, Ed, that's right.
Ed. Every band should have an Ed.
Monster Magnet.
And
Look at these guys.
what the hell is that?
Where are you finding these pictures from?
That was from my studio.
Oh, that's when we were doing our stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about we had the two Japanese girls in there too?
Yeah.
Remember when we came up with the part of with the Sabbath
Paranoid.
the
Paranoid
Sabbath
solo.
match? We turned into this key. We all found out at the same time that their other instruments, both of them, were classical piano, and they're both really good at it.
Yeah, they're really good.
And
Really
we put
good.
that part in the song.
The Okai sisters.
Yeah, they're Kai sisters.
Now that was great. That's some of the coolest shit on the record when that
Yeah.
comes in.
That was cool.
Yeah.
A classical piano solo in the middle of Paranoid.
Distorted. I put a distortion pedal on the piano.
That's right. Yeah.
That was great. And it sounds great.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So
That's the fun
I
of
tell
it.
you what, Jorgen, when they told me that you were going to be a guest on our show, I was just so excited. I mean, again, I love the band Mule, of course, but you're playing. I gotta say, your youthful aspect to the band, I mean, adds so much to it. It really, really does. And would you say that maybe that has something to do with the band's current success, just because of you, a younger demographic identifying with you?
What you were cutting out there a little bit. What was the last thing you said?
Well, just because of your youthful presence with regards to this band, would you say that a younger demographic is identifying with the band itself because of your involvement?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the first few tours that I did, it seemed like there was more like biker audience, mostly male, but that have changed. That have changed over the years.
that's because he's the sex symbol of the band now. He goes on stage with the scarf around his neck and looking very dapper and cool and sexy.
Guy.
Right? That's it. That's what happened. Now you got more women in the audience.
But it has expanded over the years, and I don't think it's due to me by any means. But
I think a little bit does. I really, really do. I think
Yeah.
they've identified with you.
yeah, it was such a crazy thing that I ended up in that band. Who knew?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you got a great future with the band. We're all going to come back really strong. It's going to happen really, really soon. Jorgen, what can we say? Thank you so much. We know you don't do a whole lot of these type of interviews, so really appreciate you coming on this show with my brothers Vinny and Carmine.
Yeah.
I'm honored, that's for sure.
We'll do a Drum Wars show here in LA sometime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Next we have the next couple of weeks scheduled out. I think next week we're going to have Max Weinberg, I think.
Yes,
All right.
very excited about Max.
And after that, we're going to have Bruce Kulick from KISS.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a good man.
Yeah, they're both good guys and all friends.
Well, we got to thank Ben, our producer, obviously Steve Love, for putting this all together. Want everybody out there to be sharing and liking, just telling everybody about our show. We're here talking to the biggest names in metal, in rock and roll. We've got Carmine Vinny Appice, and our special guest today, Jorgen Carlsson, my friend. Good luck to you. Thank you and your family. Give Vinny our love, and I hope to see you out real soon, buddy.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Jorgen, talk to you
Hey,
later.
Jorgen.
Talk
Bye,
soon.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.